man is back.
Oh, okay, boys. Oh my gosh, the man got that stuff. This is a 5 out of freaking 5.
It is beat making time.
Next week is E3 week. My album comes out next week.
I have the leopard.
This is your boy.
All right, ladies and gentlemen of the YouTube citizens, y'all know who this is. This is your boy Dash to try and find out. Back at it with another Unite commentary video gameplay for you guys, and I know this. Well, is this really old? Because this was brought up on First Take of all places this past Friday. So is this topic really old? And not to mention, the actual event doesn't take place until February. So I ask again. Is this really old? So what am I talking about? I'm talking about the fact that Kendrick Lamar will be the halftime performer for Super Bowl. What is this? 49, I believe. I think that's what this is. 49, 59. I believe this is 59. But yeah, y'all get the point. The upcoming Super Bowl event that's coming up in February, where hopefully the Lions will win the Super Bowl. Now, here's the kicker though. This is a bit of a controversy because this upcoming Super Bowl is happening in New Orleans. And New Orleans got some talent there. You know, obviously, the original Cash Money. We talking Juvenile, BG, Turk, the, what's it called? The Big Timers, and of course, Lil Wayne. We'll get to Lil Wayne in a second. They also got No Limit, you know, with the likes of Master P and Silk the Soccer, Mystical, and so forth and whatnot. C Murder. And things of that nature. Now, I'm not sure if, well, first of all of them are not for New Orleans because they did bring in Snoop Dogg. And we all know where Snoop Dogg is from. So, I'm not sure if every single member of No Limit is from New Orleans. And then there's probably some other, you know, what Currency is another guy for New Orleans. So, yeah, this is 59, actually. It's 59. Yeah, I thought so. It's either 49, 59, but it's 59. 49 didn't sound right. So, it's 59. Now, let's get back to this one. People actually believe that Lil Wayne should be performing because it's in his backyard. And people are going at Jay-Z for this because he co-produced, he's the co-producer of the Superstar Halftime Show. And he's been doing this for a while now. I believe this is last year doing it, if memory serves it correctly. Now then, let me read you an article from Forbes.com and then I'll give you my thoughts on this whole situation. So check this out. Nicki Minaj, who I thought she was irrelevant since she tried to start, or not start, but was beefing with this one female artist, and it did not go well for her, by the way. But moving on, and other artists have seemingly called out Jay-Z, who's the co-producer of the Super Bowl halftime show, for selecting Kendrick Lamar as the performer for Super Bowl 59 over New Orleans native Lil Wayne, blaming rap feuds as the reason for the supposed snub. California rapper Lamar, who had a public feud with Drake earlier this year, was selected as the halftime performer for the upcoming Super Bowl taking place in New Orleans in February, causing several artists to suggest New Orleans native Lil Wayne should have been the pick. Some people blame Jay-Z, who advertised the NFL on entertainment, for the alleged snub. And here's a quote here. The Super Bowl in New Orleans, and they let Lamar perform over Lil Wayne. Jay-Z, a legendary hater for that. And this is what's said by podcaster and internet personality DJ Academics, said in a post on Twitter. They're calling it X, formerly known as Twitter. We're just going to call it Twitter. Screw that X crap. During the Monday episode of his podcast, rapper Cameron hinted at a beef between Jay-Z and Lil Wayne, who signed Drake to his record label, Young Money Entertainment, back in 2009, as the reason for Lamar's selection. Lil Wayne, and I'm quoting here, Lil Wayne had a problem with somebody before who's kind of part of the organization running the Super Bowl. This is payback. Who is Lil Wayne's artist? Drake. That's what Cameron said. And okay, I'm gonna stop this right there. Now, I will be perfectly honest here. I have never recalled a beef between Jay-Z and Lil Wayne. In fact, I recall them doing a song together, but I don't recall them like having like serious beef, like Jay-Z and Nas beef, or what's another one that I can think of, like Cameron Jay-Z's beef, or BD Single Jadakiss beef, you know, something like that. I don't recall that. Like, obviously there was something there, because I had to look this up right now. There was something there, so obviously they dropped jabs at each other. But let's see. So for example, let's check this out real quick. 2006. This is from AI Overview. 2006, after Jay-Z's return to music with Kingdom Come, Lil Wayne fell slightly by Jay-Z's claim to be a hip-hop saver. Wayne told Complex Magazine, "I better than him." Now remember, before that, Wayne was like the best rapper alive since the best rapper retired, referring to Jay-Z retiring the first time around, whatever. And okay, there's that. In 2015, Lil Wayne became a co-owner of Jay-Z's music platform Tidal. The two seem to have reconciled at that point. So there you go with that. Now again, is there other beef? If it is, it's probably like a little bit of jab back and forth. But again, they did do at least one song together. So I don't know how severe their beef was. So there you go with that. But I don't think that would be the reason for this. I don't think Jay is that petty for this. I don't think that's the reason. So there's that. Now let's move on with the article. Jay-Z's long running feud with the rapper Birdman, now this is actually new to me, may have something to do with the decision. According to Nicki Minaj, Jay-Z and Birdman had a public feud since 2009 when Birdman, who signed Lil Wayne to his label in 1998, said Lil Wayne was a better rapper than Jay-Z. Now, again, I'm going to stop it right here because, again, I don't think Jay would be that petty to do that, to punish Drake, or not Drake, but to punish Wayne because of affiliations or whatever the case may be. And I'll be honest, I had no clue that they were beefing. I'll be honest, I had no clue. And then here's the thing. Jay-Z said a few years back that he wanted to squash every single beef that he had, by the way. So I don't remember this happened before Prodigy died, because obviously Jay-Z and Prodigy had beef, and there's that. But I don't know if that happened before he died or afterward. I don't recall. But I know Jay said he wanted to squash every single beef that he had. So to say this, I don't believe, even if Jay and Birdman, aka Baby, had beef at one point, I don't think that's the reason here. So there's that. Again, that would make Jay-Z look petty and kind of make him look like a hypocrite. Moving on. Oh, see, here we go right here. While Jay-Z and Lil Wayne have exchanged jabs over the years, the pair similarly made up after Lil Wayne signed on I talked about this right here, as co-owner of the New York rapper's music platform Tidal in 2015 before majority stake was sold to Jack Dorsey's Block in 2022. Moving on. Nicki Minaj had her own history with Jay-Z's camp earlier this year amid her beef with Megan Thee Stallion. See, there it is right there. Nicki publicly called out Desiree Perez, the CEO of Jay-Z's agency, Roc Nation, which had a management deal with Megan, which Nicki Minaj threatening to expose Perez for allegedly firing people for unknown reasons in an attempt to reportedly replace Nicki Minaj as the pinnacle of women's rap with Megan Thee Stallion. See, okay, so that's interesting. Now would I go as far as say this is the reason? No, not even close. Like what connection does Nicki Minaj have with Lil Wayne? Again, Nicki Minaj became irrelevant because of that beef with Megan Thee Stallion. Now, I'm not gonna say Megan won the beef, because I don't know, I wasn't exactly invested into it. But based on public opinion, Nicki Minaj became irrelevant. Again, this is based on public opinion, based on what I saw. So this is a stupid reason right there. All right, moving on to the article. Forbes had reached out to Roc Nation, Lil Wayne, Lamar, and the NFL for comment. And let's see. Oh, let's check this out real quick. So Nicki Minaj posted a tweet about this. So let's see what she says here real quick. She says, denying a young black man... Wait a second. I'll get to that part in a second. Denying a young black man what he's rightfully put into this game for no other reason but your ego. Your hatred for Birdman, Drake, and Nicki, and she referring to herself in a third person, by the way, got you punishing Lil Wayne, the GOAT. Nola was good. Eminem stood firm on having 50 Cent come out. A white man. Shit sad. Oh, wow. Now I'm wondering, this is actually her tweeting this. She said house, N-I-G-G-E-R. She added the E-R to this. House, N-word, Tings, T-I-N-G-Z. Oh my gosh. But it's good. F, is that an I or an L? Good for them, I guess. Yeah, good for them. D-E-M, by the way. No loyalty, forgot the I. Is there a, no, there's no I in loyalty. Well, then niggas with the A-Z, not E-R this time, will keep Sonny you? Okay. And the hashtag DTLR, hashtag Gag City DC, LMFAO, and a bunch of O's. And then Goodas good as for them, gal, you ain't good as for them. Okay, that was complicated to read. Now, let me look something up real quick. Because this is actually funny. She sounds like Sarah Swoops right now. She said deny a young black man. I'm like, Lil Wayne is 42. Where's the young black man at here? He's 42. Like, what are you talking about? Oh my gosh, it's so funny. It's really, really funny. And then again, I don't know, maybe I'm in the dark on this, but I'm gonna ask the question anyway. What connection does Lil Wayne have with Nicki Minaj? Or I should be asking it the other way around. What connection does Nicki Minaj has with Lil Wayne? Like, I don't get that at all. I find that to be hilarious. But it just made no sense real quick. So let's see. Here's what Jay-Z said. This is a crucial quote at Forbes calling it. Kendrick Lamar is truly a once-in-a-generation artist and performer, Jay-Z said in a statement. His deep love for hip-hop and culture informs his artistic vision. He has an unparalleled ability to define and influence culture globally. Kendrick's work transcends music, and his impact will be felt for years to come, end quote. So, there you go with that. Then they talk about Jay-Z's connection to the NFL. So, again, let me see. He was named the co-producer of the Super Bowl halftime show in 2019 after he partnered with the NFL to advise the league on entertainment and music. So, there you go with that. This partnership gave Jay-Z and Roc Nation the creative freedom to help pick the entertainers who will perform in televised NFL promotional spots throughout the season, which includes the Super Bowl. So, there you go with that. And let's see. Let's take a look at this real quick. Why do people think Lil Wayne should be the halftime performer? Fellow New York, and we mentioned him already, fellow New York rapper and newly named entertainment ambassador of the city, which is interesting actually, Master P actually, said in an Instagram post Sunday, I don't remember when this was posted, but moving on, that although Lamar well deserved the role, he believes Lil Wayne should be a part of the celebration too because he's one of the greatest hip-hop artists alive, still relevant, and he's a New Orleans native. Cameron also praised Lamar during his podcast episode, but went on to criticize the selection, saying it's in New Orleans and you don't get Lil Wayne. There's no reason why Lil Wayne should not be performing at the Super Bowl. Others have pointed out Louisiana artists should have been picked because Super Bowl, I believe this is 40 or 56, was held in California, and California artists like Dre, Snoop Dogg, and Lamar were picked as the halftime performers that year. All y'all acting like y'all cool with how they playing it for the Super Bowl. As shake my head, the most cultural city in the U.S., New Orleans. Is it though? I mean, maybe. Okay, I ain't gonna question that. It's a smack in the face to every hip-hop legend from Louisiana. This was Boozy said, who is a rapper from Baton Rouge, Louisiana. He said on the post on Twitter before noticed the choice for Kendrick Lamar. So there you go with that. Then they talk about the beef between Kendrick and Drake and the fact that, J. Cole was in it for a little bit, but then he took himself out. So there's that. Oh, and then they talk about Future and Metro Boomin was also in on that beef as well as they went at Drake as well. All right. So with all that said, let's get on with what I think about this whole scenario. And I'm like, boo-hoo-hoo, why y'all crying? Why y'all crying? Why y'all crying? Because let me give you guys a trip back to memory lane, right? Okay, let me see. I believe it was Super Bowl 40. If my memory serves me, yes, it was Super Bowl 40. What happened in Super Bowl 40? Well, we saw the Pittsburgh Steelers win the Super Bowl as they knocked out the Seattle Seahawks 21-10. Hines Ward, who was the wide receiver for the Pittsburgh Steelers, was the MVP. We also saw the Pittsburgh Steelers running back. That was his last game. He went out as a champion. I forgot his name, to be honest, which is funny. Let me see if I can find his name. Jerome Bettis. There it is. Jerome Bettis retired as a Super Bowl champion. And there's two important things that happened. Well, outside from all of those things that I've mentioned already. One of them being the most important one out of the ones I mentioned so far, Jerome Bettis retiring. Why is that important? And what was the other stuff that were important that I didn't mention yet? Number one, Super Bowl 40 was in my city. It was in Detroit, which is where Jerome Bettis was from. He's from Detroit. So he came home, playing the Super Bowl, won the Super Bowl, and retired, which was great. But the second thing, and more importantly than all that, in relation to this topic, was the halftime show. So we talking Detroit here. Motown, Eminem, Kid Rock. There's a bunch of talent in Detroit, whether they're old school or new school at the time. Remember, this is Super Bowl 40, so this is 2006. And did they get Eminem to perform the halftime show? Nope. Did they get anybody from Motown? Whether they from Detroit or they were under Motown? Did they get anybody to do the halftime show? Nope. Did they get D12? Nope. Did they get Royce the 5'9"? Nope. Who did they get to perform the Super Bowl? The Rolling Stones. Where was the uproar then? Now, granted, I don't know how old Nicki Minaj was at that time. I'm not sure. Well, she might have been like, I don't know. Well, she wasn't like a relevant rap artist at the time yet. But yeah. And then check this out. They still sparked some controversy but it only was sparked in the Detroit community because the Rolling Stones does not represent Detroit. And no other artist from the area was included. Like, they didn't say, hey, yo, we're in Detroit, let's get Eminem to perform with us. Or let's get somebody from Motown to... Nope. They didn't. It was just the Rolling Stones, and that was it. Where was the nationwide complaints then? And they have been doing this for years. And really, y'all need to be thanking Jay-Z for making the for improving the halftime show. Because let's be honest, anytime the halftime show came up, we would always mute that mug and do something else until the game came back on. Because the halftime show was trash. Prior to Jay-Z coming along, they were straight up ass. Outside of, there was a few exceptions like Michael Jackson, the controversy with Janet Jackson, which happened 2 years prior, involving Justin Timberlake. And then I believe Prince performed at the Super Bowl. I don't recall seeing that performance. I don't know how old I was at that point. I might have been a kid, so I don't know. But the bottom line is this. Outside of a few exceptions, the halftime show had been trash. They have been trash. Jay-Z came along. They have gotten dramatically better. So that's my one argument against why y'all complaining. I'm like, so what? Boo hoo, who cares? Kicks rocks. Because we went through that back in 2006. So I don't want to hear anything about, it should have been Lil Wayne or Cash Money or No Limit. I'm like, bruh. Yeah, that might have happened in Cali with Drake and Snoop, but that was a one-time thing, man. And plus, it's Cali. Like, they're going to get the nod over New Orleans. Of course, they're going to get the nod over New Orleans in terms of who's going to get a hometown performer to do the halftime show. They're going with Cali. That's like the number one spot in America. If it's not them, it's New York. Outside of that, nope. They ain't going with no hometown performer to do the halftime show. They ain't doing that. So y'all might already get used to that. That's just how it is. Otherwise, we would have got Eminem and or Kid Rock doing a halftime show at Super Bowl 40 in Detroit. And then if that would have happened, if they would have been consistent with that, and then all of a sudden they did something different with this coming Super Bowl, y'all would have a point. And I would probably be on your side like, yo, this is kind of inconsistent, but it is what it is. That's not the case. So that's number one. And number two, let's get back to the first thing Nicki said in her tweet. Denying a young black man, Lil Wayne is 42. Now, Lil Wayne, let's be honest here. Let's set the record straight. Lil Wayne, without question, is a legend. One of the greatest rappers of all time. I refuse to call him a hip hop artist. I actually say he's a rapper, but with phenomenal lyrics. There are some exceptions to, because first of all, there's a difference between rappers and hip hop artists. That's number one. Meaning that there's a difference between rap and hip hop music. So that's number one. But there are some exceptions when it comes to rappers who are really good lyrically. Lil Wayne is one of them. Jay-Z is another. Ludacris is another. Jadakiss is another. DMX. And there's a few others that I can name off the top of my head. Beanie Siegel. Styles P. There's a few others that I can think about the top of my head. And actually, ironically enough, the likes of Kendrick, well, I'm thinking about Drake because of the whole ghostwriter thing. But Kendrick Lamar is another example. So there's that. And I was messing with Rain early Cash Money days when it was just the Hot Boys and the Big Timers. Like, I was messing with Rain. Like, his earlier albums, like, I was messing with Rain back then. But And I understand that when Drake and Snoop performed at the halftime show, they were older than Rain is. But again, it's tough to explain. It's tough to say, oh, what's the difference between them at Cali with Rain and New Orleans? Well, the difference was this. When Dre and Snoop did it, right? When Dre and Snoop did it at the Super Bowl, I don't remember how long ago that was. I think that was 2 years ago, if memory serves it correctly. 2022. Yeah, that was 2 years ago. 2022. I can't think of anybody that year, or even 2021 going into 2022. I can't think of anybody that year who was as hot as Kendrick Lamar is right now back then. I really cannot think of anybody. I really can't think of anybody. So the problem is Kendrick Lamar is the hottest rapper out right now. He is. Mostly because of his beef with Drake, because of songs that he'll put out. Not like us. People still banging that joint to this day. Like, Kendrick Lamar is the hottest rapper out right now. And nobody was at that level back in 2021. So, yeah, they settled. They settled. You heard me right? They settled with Snoop and Dre for the halftime show. In this case, they got somebody who is hot. Who was hot. And they're like, yo, we want with that guy instead of settling with Lil Wayne. Yes, you heard me right. Instead of settling with Lil Wayne. Or it's even worse, settling with No Limit. But who knows? It's possible that Kendrick Lamar could bring out Rain. I mean, when Kendrick Lamar did that Amazon concert, which was dope as heck, by the way, he brought out Snoop. I mean, he brought out Dre. So it is highly possible that during the halftime show, he brings out Lil Wayne, and everybody who complaining, y'all look like dumbasses if that happens. And y'all need to shut the hell up if that were to happen. But the bottom line is this. I have no problem with Kendrick Lamar being chosen to do the halftime show. I'm looking forward to it. So, yeah, I'm looking forward to it being a very good Super Bowl experience because I'm predicting that Detroit Lions will win it. So, there you go with that. Now I'm going to call it a wrap. So, with all that said, y'all know this is boy New J Gatsby, a.k.a. New Stephen A. Smith, saying peace out, y'all, and I'll see y'all next time. Yeah.